That's Cooper Hammond, the senior sidearm pitcher, and he's been nasty on the mound. And we'll tell you about his bright baseball future. I'm Liz Leone, and all of that story coming up on Game On Profiles.
That is Madison Schmidt, and she's been reaching new heights and has set a school record at Riverview. Playing center field for the Lady Sailors is Alexis Singleton. She has wrapped up a great career playing at Sarasota High School, and we'll find out why softball is so important to her. All those stories on this edition of Game On Profiles, and we kick off now.
No, I don't even know why I started that.
Get out.
There you go.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Game On Profiles, where you get the chance to meet some of the outstanding student athletes from our Sarasota County District High Schools. I'm Maverick Johnson. The Venice Indians are back-to-back state champions in baseball. Head coach Craig Faulkner and his team have plenty to be very proud of in terms of what they've accomplished over the past 2 seasons. One very big reason for those 2 state titles is one of their pitchers, senior Cooper Hammond. Cooper is one of those special pitchers that was just unhittable in high school games. Our student reporter Liz Leone caught up with Cooper and his head coach and found out how he is so successful on the mound and his plans after he graduates.
On the mound is senior Cooper Hammond, and he has been playing baseball for the past 12 years. But his unique delivery started way back in Little League.
Coach Callan actually came out when I was 10 years old, and I was throwing from up here, and he dropped me down, and it just stuck.
Stuck it did, and that nasty sidearm delivery of his is just hard to hit.
Yeah, they've never really seen it before, so that's definitely an advantage.
But I'm excited to play someone that, a good team right here in our backyard. Should be a big crowd.
Cooper's advantage is something his head coach loves. Craig Faulkner, in his 15th season as head coach, knows that when his prize reliever comes into the game, well, it's all about over.
Yeah, he throws anytime we need him. He can start a game, and he can come in relief. He can come in the first inning or he can come in the 7th inning. He's the kind of guy that wherever you put him, he excels.
When Cooper was 10, he dropped down and became a sidearm pitcher. Just a few years later, when he first stepped on the mound at Venice High School, his head coach told us that they weren't sure of what they had.
When he first came here, he's a pretty scrawny little kid, and we really weren't sure if he was even going to ever pitch for us because he didn't throw very hard, and he was a little thin guy. But boy, he just kept working and kept working and kept working, and has just proven into a role that we can't do it without him. He's the guy we go to, and if we can get our starting pitcher in 4 innings, and we're winning, game's over. So you don't have many guys like that come through here. Maybe one of the best pitchers to ever pitch at Venice High School.
Very high praise from his head coach, and Cooper was on the mound last year when his team won the state championship.
It was awesome to win it with this group of guys. We've been playing together since we were 10 years old, so it was really special to win it with them.
Pitching as a sidearmer, Cooper can throw every day.
Yeah, it's not as bad on the arm as conventional over the top, so I can throw a lot more. I don't get sore. I don't have any arm problems.
Yeah, he throws anytime we need him. He can start a game, and he can come in relief. He can come in the first inning or he can come in the 7th inning. He's the kind of guy that wherever you put him, he excels.
Cooper has committed to attend the U next year, and pitching for the Miami Hurricanes is something he is ready for.
It was awesome. Years of hard work. It's paid off a little bit.
Cooper's got, an opportunity to play at the University of Miami right now, which is, as good as there is in baseball, but, he's also possibly going to have a professional opportunity. I think he's going to have to throw a little bit harder, but he's got the sink that they're looking for and the mannerisms and the poise that they're looking for at the big league level, and he's got the size. So right now I think his next step is, to finish out here and then go play for Miami, but, the sky's the limit for him.
Not only on the field, but off the field, Cooper sets a good example for his teammates and throughout the community.
So we're seeing a little bit more leadership out of him. The players look up to him, and he does a great job with that. He's a good student. He's a good leader. He makes good decisions on and off the field. Our motto is excellence on and off the field, and he's right there, demonstrating that for all the players. He's the kind of guy you want on the field and off the field.
Cooper has a dream, and he hopes to play one day in the major leagues.
Playing the MLB, that's always been my dream, and hopefully it works out.
Hopefully it does work out for Cooper Hammond, a back-to-back state champion for the Venice Indians. Reporting for Game On Profiles, I'm Liz Leone.
All right, well, Liz, let's talk a little bit about baseball. So you're not a huge baseball fan, but you know the game.
Yes.
So talk to me a little about the sidearm deal, because that's not all that prevalent, and you probably hadn't seen that before, right?
I had never really seen it before, but it looked awesome. Like, he's so good at what he does.
So as someone who's a student athlete, even though maybe not a baseball player or softball player, you could totally see why it's kind of maybe difficult for opposing players to hit off Cooper?
Yes, if I was up there hitting, I'd probably run away. It was super fast.
It's kind of an interesting story because Coach was talking about how he can start and he can relieve, and I think you're the perfect person to talk about this. When you're an athlete and you play a certain position or you have a certain role, being able to do multiple things is kind of interesting because not always is that the case on a team, right?
Right. In my sport, you play one position and that's it, so it's really unique to be able to do that.
Now, the big thing here is he's got a scholarship to the University of Miami, which is one of the best programs in the country. But it started with a lot of hard work because Coach said when he first came out, he didn't have his wildest dreams that he would be the pitcher that he turned out to be. And I know you talked a little bit about Cooper about all that work and the time he put in.
It really shows how the hard work paid off, like through the years since he was a freshman, really. Being able to go to Miami, so that's awesome for him.
You know, it's interesting because Coach said something very interesting in your piece, and it was great that you got it out of him. He said Cooper was one of the best pitchers in the history of Venice High School that has now won multiple state championships and has been a good baseball program for years. So that's quite the compliment.
That's something to seriously be proud of because they've had so many pitchers, and he's unique.
A good student, a good leader. You know him a little bit, I guess. Talk to me a little bit about Cooper, the person, as he gets ready to go to the University of Miami.
I think he's a really nice guy, but he's very serious about his sport, so I think he'll succeed. He'll do really well.
Well, great job on the story, Liz.
Thank you.
We got more Game On Profiles in a minute. Stay with us here on the Education Channel.
A little time, a little exercise, a little laugh, a little help.
He might be in danger of not making it to high school this year if he flunks math. And we just can't have that.
A little bit of your support can make a big difference for matches like these. Just ask this high school freshman. Start something today at bigbrothersbigsisters.org/startsomething.
Welcome back to Game On Profiles. I'm Maverick Johnson. For our next story, the Riverview Rams have a special athlete on their girls' track team. She is Madison Schmidt, a senior, and Madison has really gotten the hang of a very difficult track event, the pole vault. Over the past 4 years, Madison has worked very hard to clear new heights, and this year she has really found her stride. Madison has not only set the school record at Riverview for the pole vault, but she has her eyes set on competing at the next level. Our student reporter, Jessica Ward, watched Madison practice and has our story of one athlete who just continues to work to get more height and to find out just what she can accomplish.
She runs, she plants, she clears the bar. Just another day for senior Madison Schmidt.
Well, I used to do gymnastics for 6 years, and once I started not enjoying the sport as much, I always wanted to try track. And one of my gymnasts that I did gymnastics with, she tried pole vaulting and really loved it, and so I tried it and got hooked since.
Gymnastics loss was the Riverview track team's game. Madison has been on the team for 4 years and has steadily improved in her event.
When I first tried it, it was my freshman year, so 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago, and it was really hard. I thought I'd pick it up really quickly, but it was a lot harder than it looks, and so definitely, I didn't enjoy it as much in the beginning, but once I started getting better and improving and understanding what I was actually doing, that's when it became a lot more fun.
Just do your best, and if you do your best, then it'll take care of itself.
The head girls track coach is Jason Means, and he appreciates Madison's work ethic.
She's a great athlete, and that's the bottom line. She's a great athlete, and she also, I think you saw it in talking with Madison, that, what a great attitude. And that's one of the things. You have to have, to be a track and field athlete, you really have to have kind of a little bit of a goofy attitude half the time, because no one, really is watching or caring a whole heck of a lot about what we're doing out here. And so you kind of have to get a little, joy out of it from, from inside. And she does. She has a good time and enjoys herself, and she works very, very hard.
It takes a lot of hard work to get good at the pole vault. Madison says it's really as much mental as it is skill.
It's definitely mental. You have to not let it get in your head. That's the thing with field events. It's completely mental. So I always try and practice to have it set up higher, so I'm used to going at higher heights. So then in the meet, with the bar, it's not too daunting.
Madison has done well with her approach to her event, and she owns the school record, vaulting 11 feet, 6 inches.
It feels great. Actually, the last height that I cleared, 11 feet, 6 inches, on the way down, I had time to celebrate before I hit the mat, and that was a great feeling, because that's always what you see in professionals. Once they clear it, they're celebrating on their way down to the mat, so that was pretty cool.
Run up and down.
Madison will be attending Florida State University and hopes to continue on their track team.
Okay.
Up and down.
I'm going to Florida State University, and I'm walking on the team there, so I'm super excited.
She'll definitely get better. She'll work very hard there. She thought she worked hard here, but she'll work really hard there. And but it'll be a great experience for her. To compete as a college athlete is a unique experience that not many people get. So that'll be fun.
As she looks back on her career, Madison will miss her team and the fun they had going through the practices and the meets.
Definitely, all the teammates are kind of like family, and being out here every year, it seems like I've been out here longer than 4 years now, so definitely want to come back and see everyone. And
she will definitely be missed, because she's a good leader too. She's the other girls like her, and because it's hard not to like that personality. I mean, she's such a sweetie, so it's so we're definitely going to miss her a lot.
We wish Madison Schmidt all of the best as she moves on to college and looks to soar to new heights on the FSU track team. Reporting for Game On Profiles, I'm Jessica Ward.
Good job. Stay on the pole.
All right, well, let's talk a little about track and field, Jessica, because I'm curious what you knew going into the story about track and field in general.
I actually didn't know anything about track. I knew some things, but I really didn't. And after seeing Madison, I know that it's a lot harder than it looks.
The pole vault in particular has always been fascinating to me, and I think it's one of those sports that people love to watch because there's a lot of components to it, and you got some great shots of Madison at practice that day. Tell me your perception of just watching a pole vault in person.
It's kind of cool. I mean, she runs and then she's just up in the air, and just to see someone that high up in the air is really cool to see.
It's also cool because, you know, she put a lot of time into it. She was in gymnastics, and then all of a sudden one day she's like, I'm tired of gymnastics. I think I want to try track and field. And she's been on the team all 4 years, and she kind of culminated it by setting a school record and doing well at the state competition. And this is just something she picked up as she was going into school. You got to admire that perseverance.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I'm pretty sure that being a gymnast probably made her bravery a lot stronger. I think it's really cool that she is this good after only doing it for her time in high school.
And I know you have a lot of activities in school, so balancing extracurricular activities in school is very hard. And she goes to Pineview, and she's going to be doing academics, obviously, at the next level in college. Talk to me a little about trying to balance all that, because she was obviously very committed to track and field while going to school, but kept her grades very high.
I mean, that takes a lot. That takes a strong person to be able to do that. I think that it's awesome that she's such a great student and she's also such a great athlete.
Well, we'll be looking forward to watching her at Florida State. Great job on the story.
Thank you.
We got more on Game On Profile. Stay with us here on the Education Channel.
That's Alexis Singleton. She's been on varsity all 4 years. She's extremely competitive and she hates to lose.
There you go, yeah.
I'm Shelby Shea and I'll have that story coming up on Game On Profiles.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Game On Profiles. I'm Maverick Johnson. For our final story, the Sarasota Sailors had a great softball season. Their center fielder and team leader is Alexis Singleton. Alexis loved playing for the Sailors, and her time on the field is what she looks forward to. Our student reporter, Shelby Shea, caught up with Alexis at a practice and talked with her and her head coach about her season and why playing softball is such a big part of her life.
Here we go. Got it!
How long have you been playing softball?
Since I was 3. Since I could pretty much walk.
Come up fire, let's go!
Have you always played center field?
No, I was a first baseman, but I wasn't very good at the infield. I'm kind of scared of ground balls, so they just put me in the grass.
How do you manage your time with getting good grades and playing softball?
I don't know if this is the right answer, but I think softball comes first. And I usually just work around my softball schedule. If I have time, like in between classes or whatever at lunch, then I usually finish it then, or my first period, which was my TA. But
I got it!
As you look back on your senior year, what are you going to miss most about playing softball for Sarasota High?
Definitely being able to talk to everybody on my team. It's just a close family feeling. It's not really, I don't know, we're all just good friends. It's good outside of school time.
How has it been to be a varsity softball player all 4 years in high school?
What's expected from myself? I don't know. I'm just a hardworking athlete. I come out here and get the job done, and I don't let anybody else be better in my position, pretty much.
Describe yourself as a hitter.
It depends on the situation, really. I don't care. I'm just kind of like a team player. I really don't care if I get out. Whatever's going to help us win the most, I don't know, I guess.
What's the best part of being a softball player at Sarasota High?
I just like being on a team, period. I just like to be with other girls who have the same competitiveness as I do. I don't know, it's fun. I just like sports. I like to be competitive and play with other people and beat them, pretty much.
It is very rare for a player to be on varsity all 4 years, which Alexis has done. The way she encourages her teammates and her bubbly personality is what her teammates and coaches love most about her.
Let's pick up the pace a little bit.
What's the best part of coaching Alexis?
I think it's her attitude, it's her character, it's the fact that she's very serious, but whenever you need somebody to give you a little bit of a relaxing joke, Alexis is there for you. She's able to do that, and it's fun just to coach her. I've known Alexis for a very long time, and so it's enjoyable to be able to watch her grow, not only as a player, but as a young lady. So.
How does she help the team as the captain?
She's absolutely a leader, and that's what a captain's role is to be a leader. Alexis is able to keep kids in the dugout going. You know, we might get down, we might, whatever, somebody might strike out, and she's able to pull them up and say, hey, let's go, we can do this. And that's her role, and she does it to perfection.
That was better, though.
What are you going to miss most about her after she graduates this year?
No, I don't even know why I started that.
I think just the way she comes out here with her little bubbliness, I guess, if that's a, and her, just the fact that she can make you laugh. You can have the worst day ever, and she'll come out here and say something, you go, what? And it just, you forget all about the bad stuff that's happened. So, and her go-get attitude, being able to tell kids, hey, let's go. Yeah, you know, and I think all the kids are gonna miss that too, because all the kids really, really enjoy every bit of her. You know, not even on the field, but off the field too. They go to her for all sorts of things. So, just her being a leader is what's gonna be missed.
It's very rare to have a 4-year player on varsity. How do you think Alexis achieved that?
Simple. When she came out as a freshman, she's being athletic as she is. And, you know, even though she made varsity as a freshman, she never stopped fighting and being competitive all 4 years, and that's what kept her where she was in the starting role that she is and has been able to maintain since being a freshman.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about, as a student athlete yourself, watching another student athlete hone their craft. You know, one of her last practices. What was your perception?
Alexis is definitely one of the most hardworking athletes I've ever even seen practice. She's very good at what she does.
You know, it's interesting because Coach mentioned that as well. She's now a team leader, and we're going to get into that, but she's never stopped working. And it's funny you bring that up because Coach said, you know, even though as a freshman trying to make the team and now as a senior and the captain and a leader, she's never quit working and putting in that time. And that dedication is something you have to admire.
Yeah, definitely. She has one of the greatest work ethics on the team. She's a great leader and a hard worker.
You know, the other thing that came out in your story, and Coach mentioned it, was she's very gregarious. She's got an infectious personality. Let's talk a little about how that kind of relates her to her teammates maybe, and, you know, how she goes about, how she does things on the field.
Yeah, she's definitely, you know, she's approachable, she's helpful, she's exactly what you would want in a teammate.
Now, a team leader is something that's also interesting because she is a captain. She's been there 4 years. She's kind of worked her way into that role. And Coach said players come to her for advice, both on the field and off the field. As someone who plays sports, how important is it to have that kind of person on a team?
It is so important. It's one of the most important things to have a captain that you trust and you like. And she's incredibly popular. You know, she won prom queen, and the girls can just go to her for anything, and that's really great.
As she closes out her career, it seemed like softball at school was such a huge thing for her. Going to the next level is something she wants to do as well. And it seems with her personality, nobody could slow her down.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I think Alexis has one of those, you know, go-getter personalities. I think she'll go as far as she wants to go. I think she can do great things.
Well, great job on the story. Thanks for bringing it to us.
Thank you.
We've got more on Game On Profile. Stay with us here on the Education Channel.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Well, that'll wrap up this edition of Game On Profiles. We want to thank all of our student reporters for their fine stories. For all of us from Game On Profiles, we thank you for joining us. I'm Maverick Johnson. Game on!